This is part of the Educational Infrared Sauna Series, video part 5. So this is about component and grade quality. This is a very important area because it's intimately tied to the manufacturer. And remember, 90-something% of all brands are manufactured by 4 factories in China, of which all of them pretty much use the same component quality. And that quality is not so good. Now, for some of those, and you'll see this more with carbon saunas in general, but a lot of those being constructed actually are using components. I'm talking about like wiring, transformers, things like that, all very electrical related, that are certified and generally adhere to standards that are from a different industry, not the infrared sauna industry. So remember, infrared sauna started when somebody got the good idea of taking industrial heaters, things to heat up, all sorts for a variety of different reasons. For example, the car seats in your car use carbon infrared to actually warm up the seat. Okay, and they use a very low amount of electricity, so they don't really drain the car battery very much. That's why they use them. Okay, but again, so that gives you an insight, right? The same type of warmers for your seats or for the flooring, especially used in apartment complexes and things like that in China, Japan, in Korea. They're really standardized and follow certifications and guidelines and safety guidelines, okay, for these other types of industrial applications. So that's very different than using it in a construction that'll be around humans. For example, so with a lot of the flat carbon panels, including the nano carbon panels, which are very efficient. I mean, they're good, efficient, cheap panels that can cover a lot of surface area, but they use those a lot of times in flooring of different complexes, living complexes, and the wiring and the whole setup with those is very sketchy. If you're going to have wood around the transformer, wood around where the actual wiring goes into these, the standards are just off, basically. So don't want to be in the situation of having your sauna catch fire inside your house, number one. Number two is that the electromagnetic frequency, the EMF, is very, very with a lot of these types of saunas because the electrical wiring, the transformer, all the different components in there were really designed to be in a larger space, okay, to be under the flooring or very high up on a wall, but usually just further away from you. But remember, we're in a very small sauna space, so they're having all these different components very close to the person. And remember, when you're talking about EMF, a big part of why it can be more damaging or interfering with different parts of the nervous system, the cells, and all that kind of stuff, is proximity. Okay, so for example, there's been studies that have looked up the cancer rates and other disease around cell phone towers, which is higher, or those living under power lines, okay, or near a radio tower, okay. But remember, what we're always saying here is it's about exposure, and the thing that affects you a lot is the proximity to what's the emission source of the electromagnetic frequency. But on the contrary, then with infrared exposure, it's good to actually be in closer proximity to the infrared that's saturating your body. So now we're talking about, again, the difference in electromagnetic spectrum. We have X-rays, which you don't want to be exposed to at any proximity, often, not a good thing. Gamma waves coming from the sun, eventually that could really damage the skin if you get too much exposure. Down to really beneficial infrared waves that are like really helpful to you, but everything really has its own dosage and also proximity that's healthy or deemed healthy or gives you a good positive adaptive response. So for example, and you can test this, or I've done this with a variety of different brands of sauna, and I already know at this point that 3 of the 4 manufacturers in China, I know exactly where they put their transformers in their saunas, because as you're taking an EMF meter, which are pretty cheap, I have a more expensive one. It's more sensitive. It's better. It's like $150, and you can basically, when I check the emitters themselves. Most of the saunas, by the way, most brands have reduced the EMFs on the actual emitter themselves, because they know that people know that's right next to the body, and they're, according to their shopping criteria, they want to make sure that's low, which is good. That's good that it's low. Most companies have adhered to that over the last 7 years. They've really gotten their act together. But you have to also check the EMF levels around the emitters. And what I found is that in a lot of these other different types of saunas, the transformer at the top, usually in the corner of the sauna or in different aspects of the wall, actually tests extremely high when you're using an EMF meter. And remember, again, because that transformer, and also if you go into the back of the sauna where all the wiring's actually coming in, that was really designed for a different industrial application that was going to actually be much further away from people in general, or behind a concrete wall or some other type of flooring like that. So this is in much greater proximity to you, and it's basically off the charts if you actually analyze that with one of these sensitive emitters or meters. So yeah, that's basically the summation of some of the things you got to watch out for, and also component quality. Yeah, I may kind of throw into this video mentioning that wood type is also a component of a sauna, and it's something else that you really got to watch out for. And I'm actually going to talk about that in the next video. It is a component, but I think it deserves its own video, because it's now kind of, in my eyes, kind of the new hot topic for the infrared sauna industry. We've been over the whole EMF thing. People have kind of caught on, and the next topic we're going to get into is off-gassing related to wood types. Thanks for watching.